Let's start with that trip to Colorado.
Yeah.
I mean, it's year 6 for you. Can you even believe that you've been here for 6 years?
It's gone by fast. It really has.
I mean, I remember when you came in and you wanted to change the culture. How it's always a progression. You're never where you quite want to be. You're always working on it. But how much do you think Eastern Michigan football has come under you?
Well, I mean, it's not. It's all of us. I mean, I want to make that really clear. But so many people are involved in it. And looking back, you get some time in the summer to reflect and get ready for that next year. You do. You want to try to measure some of the success in all facets of the program. And when I first came in, I said we want to close the gap. I had an argument with my kids about, does that mean that it goes, all the way? Like that first season, do we close the gap, or does that mean it's closed? And it's always closing the gap. I don't know that you ever really reach your full potential. But we've closed the gap. There's no question. I find myself in recruiting, these last few months talking about going to 2 bowl games in 3 years, 2-0 versus the Big Ten in the last 2 years, team GPA of a 3.0, and we've got a $20 million+ end zone facility. And so those aren't all the ways that you measure it, but those are some, I think, tangible measuring sticks that you can look at. But we're still nowhere near where we can be. In the last 3 years, when we've had somewhat of a breakthrough, we're still 19-19. For all of that, fun hype, it's just we're not even anywhere close to where I believe that we can get.
Now, with that being said, this has got to be one of the most experienced teams you have. These are all your kids you've recruited, and depth has to be there with this team. Do you feel like this is an opportunity for you guys to take another step, to close that gap even further?
I do. I absolutely do. And, I don't know that it's because we're more talented or that we're more experienced. We had a great group last year. We've actually lost a lot. But I think one of the measuring sticks of a program which is lost these days is that 5th year and that 6th year. There's a couple challenges, I think. Can you win people over and then be successful in all the different ways that you measure success early on? And then can you do it when you've put your program and your process in place? And so now, we have recruited all these guys and they don't know anything different than how we've done it. But that gets lost. That second piece, people rarely get that opportunity anymore. And so I'm excited about that challenge and to see where we're at this year, and we believe in our guys.
I want to talk to you about that Colorado trip, making them carry, a 50-pound?
51.
51-pound drill
pipe wrench,
pipe wrench up the mountain there.
Yeah.
He said it's not fun, but I'm sure these guys come back with a refreshed sense of responsibility and understanding that the time is now for them. This is their last shot.
No doubt. I mean, there's something special about just having all of the seniors together, for a weekend before we start, just finalizing the season goals, just making sure that we're all on the same page with all that we want to do. It's really sort of the final leadership series that we do before their senior year. I've been doing a leadership series with them since they came in as freshmen. And so this is that ultimate experience where we don't only climb the mountain, we do it together, and we do it, I want to get all into it, but we serve each other. We try to have a servant leadership deal, and so we're out of our normal routine, we're out in Colorado, we're, and so we got an opportunity to really see the power of serving each other. And it's a phenomenal experience because it is really hard. It took us 11 hours. And every year, this year included, there's guys that would not have made it, without each other. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite parts is when we get back down off the mountain and go to dinner and have a debrief. And it's powerful. It really is. So something that I'm really excited about doing every year.
Do anything else fun this offseason? Bungee jumping, swimming with sharks or anything like that?
None of that this year.
When you look at this team, give me what you think really close to being where it needs to be. Nothing's perfect. I know coaches don't like to use that
Sure.
word, but what position group are you really comfortable with, and what position group do you hope can turn a corner to make sure that they're doing what they need to do?
Yeah, well, I would probably point to a couple different areas. Our secondary I think is going to be pretty strong. A lot of experience, multiple all-MAC performers that have played with each other. You know, we were a very talented defense last year, #1 in the conference. Our pass defense was some of the tops in the entire country, and the vast majority of those guys return. So I think that will start there with us defensively. Offensively, you know, we lose Blake Banham, who is just an unbelievable leader and player for us, but we'll have 5 senior wide receivers and then some underclassmen to go with that. You know, we'll have a couple senior tight ends, 2 senior running backs, a senior quarterback, and then 3 senior offensive linemen. But I do think that the wide receiver position, you know, has the most experience on offense, and then the secondary, like I said. I think that our kicking game has a chance to take another step forward. And you know, we were pretty solid in the kicking game this last year. So our freshman kicker is going to have some competition, but returns for a sophomore year. And then our punter, who was phenomenal this last season, you know, is coming back for his junior year. So and I think it's mainly the buy-in of our team. Our team knows how important it is, and so it's not just the specialists themselves, but it's the guys that don't get any recognition, you know, shielding a guy on a punt return, you know, and taking the right footwork on a punt. So excited about that.
Awesome. Thank you much.
Yeah, thank you.